I'm on my way home right now. I don't know. Yeah, you can probably tell that I got the stock trailer with me. I actually went today and I bought another bull. That's what we're going to be talking about today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Just about to pull into the ranch right now. I'm excited to get this guy out of the trailer and show you guys what I got. I'm gonna dump this guy off here in the main corral, but I don't want him getting with the cows quite yet, so I'm gonna make sure that they are all out of here. And once I've got him in the big corral, then I can sort of deal with him. And now I know why you guys are kind of upset. They got the gate closed somehow here, and they're kind of separated. So we'll get everybody back together. Okay, I got everybody out of here now. So let's go ahead and unload the new bull. Let's turn him loose. I think he's afraid to get out without his mama. So now the title of this video is probably making a little bit more sense. I did buy a bull, but he's just a baby. What happened is a friend of mine that runs cows a little ways up the road had this nice pair, but she's a little bit off schedule for him. And with feed being real short this year, he was making some cuts. He said this is probably one of the best cows in his herd, but her timing's a little bit off with calving, and because of the way things are this year, she had to go. But rather than send her and the baby off to the auction, the plan is to keep this cow in my herd now. She'll raise up this bull calf, and then rather than castrate him when I castrate the others, I'm just gonna leave him intact. And when he's around 18 months to 2 years old, he'll be ready for the big show. So I'm kind of letting the cows get acquainted here through the pipe fence, just because when the guy that I bought her from gathered, she came in, she was walking good on the way in, but after she made her way through the corral, she had developed a little bit of a limp. So I don't know if she stepped in a hole or what. Apparently she was running through brush and down trees, so she might have tweaked her foot on something. She's walking pretty good now, but I don't want her to start fighting with the other cows and maybe re-aggravate that. So I'm gonna kind of let them touch noses and sniff each other through the fence here for a couple minutes, and then when they settle down a bit, then I'll turn her out. If you look at this cow, she is just the picture of what a black Angus should look like. Just an absolutely beautiful female. And the guy that I bought her from told me that she was bred to one of his best bulls to produce this little bull calf. And because we sort of know that this calf has really good genetic potential, that was another big reason why we decided to keep him and later use him as a breeding sire. You'll notice that the little bull calf has an ear tag, and the reason for that, we actually just did that before we put him in the trailer, because I didn't want to let him out with my cows and then lose track of which one he is, so that when it comes time for me to castrate, I know not to castrate that one. Raising a bull up from a calf is going to present some challenges for me for both my management and my facility here. I'm gonna have to separate him and keep him separated until I'm ready for him to do his job. This is gonna mean a little bit of facility update and improvement, stuff that I've been wanting to do anyway, but now we've got a good reason to do it. The cows seem to have settled down a little bit. I'm sure that they're still gonna need to fight each other some when I let her out there. I can't keep them separated all day, so let's open the gate and see what they do. This is probably the most cost-effective way for me to get a really high-quality bull. It really just wouldn't make sense for me to go to a bull sale and drop $5, $6, $7, maybe even more $1,000 on a bull. This way, I'm getting that same genetic potential. I won't have an EPD sheet for him, but I can look back at what his dad was, because the guy that I got him from has that information, and we could get a general good idea of what he's going to be capable of. Couple that with the fact that his mom looks so good that I think that I've got a really good thing here. Our new mama cow here is a little bit shy. She's kind of hanging back from the main herd. They're very curious in her, she's curious in them. I think I'm just gonna kind of stand back and let them do this at their own pace. It looks like the steers are actually giving her the most trouble, but they're not really trying to fight her. They'd want to ride her. And she's mostly just kind of concerned about where her calf is. Yeah, it's gonna be a circus here in a minute. Well, this is just gonna take time. There's not really a whole lot I can do here, so I think we'll come back in a few hours after everybody's settled down and see how they're doing then. While they're settling down, I want to talk a little bit about my facilities. In the past, I've never had to house bulls year-round, and now that I am, I'm gonna have to make a few changes. In order for me to maintain a defined calving season like I'd like to continue to do, I'm going to need to separate the bull for at least 6 months out of the year, and maybe even more like 9. Since buying my current bull back in December, I've kept him here in the working corral, or if it works out, I can keep him in the big corral because I don't want him going out with the cows until around June. Keeping him in these small corrals here has been all right. I mean, it's kept him separated, but it's really less than ideal because sometimes I need to get cows in here to work on them, and then I have to find somewhere to put him. So it's not really a good long-term setup, but I have an idea of what I think will be. I'm down here at what we refer to as the hog barn, and over the last few years, I've kind of been debating what to do with this structure. As you can see now, it's mostly been used to just kind of store junk, and we did use it as a horse stall when we had a horse. Well, the horse is gone now, and I don't really see why this junk needs to remain undercover. And the more I look at this building, the more I think that the best thing that I can do with this would be to kind of convert this into a bullpen. So my idea is to get this old trailer out of here, and I don't think there's really anything on here that's worth keeping. If it is, then we'll find a place for it. But we'll make like this slot and then the rest of the building this way into a pen. I think I will continue to keep this slot on the end for storage purposes, just for like lumber or metal or anything that I want to keep out of the weather. But I don't need this whole building for that. Just having like one bay over there would be plenty. So after we get everything cleaned out there, I want to, well, really what I want to do is start down there at the end of the round bale feeder and, you know, make a pipe fence to this corner, make a nice gate hoop here, rehang this gate on a post that will actually hold it up off the ground. And then here where I've got the wood that's kind of coming down, replace that with another metal gate very similar to the one that I just installed at the other end of this little pasture. That's going to give me a nice easy way to get bulls in and out of this pen, and it'll just clean this up, and then I won't have to worry about repairing these boards anymore. From there, I think I'm going to take down the horse panels. They're not probably substantial enough for what I want to do now. But basically just bring this fence line out and then shoot it back to the barn there. Not really sure about the feeder setup, what we're gonna do as far as that goes, but you know, I can figure something out. There's a water line that runs underground here on the back wall of this building, so that'll be perfect to tap into that to get him some water in here. And I might even end up making the feeder like right here in this bay so it's undercover. I can just park a round bale here and he can chew on it for a few days. So I think I'm gonna add this project to the to-do list this summer, and it's gonna be really nice because not only is it gonna clean up this whole building, this whole area down here, but it'll also let me finish out this corner away from the feeder like I wanted to do. So really this whole area down here will be done at that point, and done's a good place to be. Well, it's actually been a few days since I turned the bull calf and his mom out. I know I said we were gonna come check on him again in a few hours, but sometimes things don't always work out the way we plan. So we're walking out here now to check on him, and I just thought I would kind of share some of the things that I have noticed about her over the last few days. After turning the new cow and calf out into the herd, I did notice that after they got done with all the sniffing and the riding and all the things that cows do, she was sort of like banished from the herd for a few days, which I think is normal. But for those first few days, her and the calf would lay by themselves out in the corner of the pasture and not really intermingle with the rest of the herd. After a few days though, that kind of came to an end, and she is starting to insert herself into this herd, and they seem to be doing quite well. Neither mother nor baby seemed very accustomed to dealing with people very often, which makes sense because the ranch that they came from, they wouldn't have really seen people that much. I mean, they might have seen pickups or four-wheelers here and there, but seeing a person walking around on foot out in the field is probably something that they're not used to. Now, that being said, I'm not trying to make a pet out of this bull, but I wouldn't mind being friends with him either, because I'm used to bulls that are pretty mellow and pretty calm. I mean, you see the one that I have already, he's just a big puppy dog, and I like that. I'll put it to you the way I put it to other people. I worry more about new mothers than I do about my bulls, and I'd like to keep it that way. Both the cow and the calf seem to be intermingling and meshing with their new herd just about as good as I could hope for. And now it's just a matter of waiting and letting the little guy grow. I'm really excited about raising a bull up from a calf. This is something that I've always wanted to try, and it's going to be really kind of neat to track his progress, what he looks like as a yearling, what he looks like as a 2-year-old, and then finally what his calves look like and how they perform. However this turns out, whether it's good or bad, I know that at the very least, I'm gonna learn a lot, and I hope you guys do too. Thanks for hanging out at the ranch with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.